Good evening. Good evening, everybody. This is Suraj Singh speaking from Bharat, India. A civilian just like everybody else. After a long time, because of my sickness, I was disturbed. So I just try to talk a little brief about quality of concrete. Quality of concrete is very important for me, for you, for everybody, for general public as well throughout world. It's not simply in this country. When we talk of quality of concrete, we talk a lot. For you, for someone, it may not matter, but for every civil engineer, structural engineer, researcher, retrofitter, it matters. Maybe it's material only, but it's not simply material. It's life of structure, life and the reliability of that structure in relation to every user, every person who uses that. Consumer you may call, end user you may call, owner you may call, or whatever you may call. You may call what by whatever name, by whatever title. It doesn't make much difference as far as it is quality, it's a reality. Concrete can be called concrete only when it really has quality. If concrete is produced by quality flaw, I can say it's nothing. It's just waste of natural materials. It's in it's waste of human resources. It's waste of you can say equipment and money. Maybe no one from engineering community and no one from public must have an acceptance of bad quality of concrete, but that is in theory, that is in assumption, that is in certification only, that we are producing quality concrete. If you investigate post construction, I can assure you, you'll find 90% concrete bad quality. This is guaranteed according to my experience, particularly in ours Bharat, India. I'm not defaming something. There's no question of defaming anything. Why defame? मैं किसी को बदनाम करने की बात नहीं कर रहा, ज़रूरत नहीं है मुझे उसकी. जो काम सही नहीं करते उनको बदनाम करने की आवश्यकता नहीं है, वो खुद ही बदनाम है. कंक्रीट को एक मजाक बना के रख दिया है. For us, concrete is just a mixture of some materials and pour it, and that's it. Just like human life, concrete has also some soul. Concrete works for us for many decades to come. But what do we work for concrete? The point is that, do we really spend time on concrete that it imports, it deserves? That's my point. And I have worked for many years in Qatar, in Abu Dhabi, in many other locations, Iraq, Libya, and like that, say, in a duration from 1981 to 2010-11, of course with breaks. What I understood, what I learned, that concrete is a system, heavyweight system. It's not what we think it is, concrete. Because concrete doesn't work alone, it works with another material that's called steel, which we call generally reinforcement. It may be direct reinforcement in cast in situ concrete, or it may be tendon reinforcement in pre-stress concrete. We call pre-stress concrete also something. This is direct concrete, we call it cast in situ concrete. We just cast inside. And pre-stress is something else, it's higher level concrete. You may, as public man, public person, may not get idea of that pre-stress or precast, yet it works. And other glass, other cup गरम पानी मिलेगा I'm not going to talk about pre-stressing because that is beyond common citizens. Common citizen is concerned with cast in situ concrete. If you see buildings being constructed throughout our country, you will go and see, you'll find that they just erect some walls before that some foundations without caring what is foundation. They are innocent people, they are not from engineering field, and those who just mislead them, they are masons, carpenters, and some who do not know anything about construction, anything about structure, so-called builders or promoters. So public thinks this person knows job and this person can deliver them what's required. They feel happy. But feeling happy or being happy, you know difference. Everybody can feel happy, but feeling is sentimental. It's only it's emotional. If you want to really look into facts, except some, you can say, professional contractors, some contractors, I can say some contracting companies, organizations who care for themselves, hardly I think 2% of all lot. Others least bother. Even big companies, I hate them sometimes. Names are so big, but if you see, deliveries are rubbish. I have put many photographs of such bad quality concrete in many videos and also in posts. I think it doesn't matter for them. You can go wherever you want to go and see how people how people don't even know that is bad concrete, but it goes on and on. In this regard, just to help or just to disseminate whatever I have or what I could learn in my experience being a civil engineer, I think I did not learn what college told me or what university, incorporated with me or contributed to me. I didn't learn even 2, 3, 4% of practical engineering. Learning comes only in field. If you get good project and good people with you, it doesn't come from calculations, it doesn't come from designs. Design is basics in engineering, we know. Without design, nothing can happen, nothing can move. It's like, designing anything, whatever you want to design. Design is great science. It's great applied science, it's technology. It doesn't come in one go. It takes years together to understand design. It comes by experience. It comes by talking to your structure. You have to understand, just like you understand your kid, your baby. You have to understand what a structure you want to make. It's not simply the calculations you get from software and just you justify anything or something. I'm not talking of that. That's not art. That is use of some software. I'm not interested in that. What I'm saying is art of engineering. Engineering is a science plus art. It's nothing else. If you can't produce engineering as artwork, don't think only architecture is art. Engineering itself is art. It requires your input, total input. That input is missing. I've seen youth, young civil engineers call themselves structural, and okay, let them call it structure. I don't mind it. But they miss every elementary, they raise questions like baby. One side, you call yourself and you call structural engineer, and you raise questions which even diploma holder should not raise. So here's a question, here's a point. Why has it happened? Why has it been happening? It's because there's a complete flaw in education. What our professors teach, it doesn't fit in industry. You may call it's not industry. You may call it not industry, but fact is that construction is biggest industry. It may not be organized. It may be unorganized. Indeed, yet it requires complete resources, natural resources, material resources, equipment, time, cost. So what is missing? Quality is missing. If my supervisor, if my foreman, he cannot understand, then it's whose duty? Whose duty is it to teach him? It's duty of engineer. Duty of engineer who is in charge of that activity to keep his crew updated. But do you? Do I? Do we? Question arises here. If a structural engineer, though I do not isolate a structural engineer from civil engineer, for me, a structural engineer is a part of civil engineering. They may accept or they may not accept, it's up to them. But I consider civil and structural engineer are same as far as they are qualified, as far as they can perform. Yes, there are differences in degrees, you may say, but differences in experience also questions. This is big amount. If a civil engineer with BE degree or a professional degree is having 25, 30, 40, 50 years experience, you cannot say that person is not structural engineer. He is much above than a structural engineer because of experience. If I have worked on say 25 to 30 structures in my life, big structures, what do you mean by saying that you are a structural engineer? I don't know then what university can teach you, what MTech can teach you, and PhD can teach you, because you are guided by some people who are not experienced in field. But a person who works in field is guided by people which are factual one. I have worked on set examples. Set works. There's accountability, there's liability, there's a question for every activity, there's an answer for every activity, and there's on top there's a financial liability, time liability, cost liability. And if you think a person who has worked on 25, 40 structures, 30 structures, that person is not a structural engineer. You coming MTech and PhD, you are a structural, then you are in doldrum, you are in darkness. Change your mindset. That's why I'm simply saying, if you feel bad, I least bother about that. So through public, I would say, you should know what you are going to do. First, don't spend your money if you don't know what you are going to do. It's not fault of public as well. No, it's not their fault. It's fault of dissemination of information. No dissemination of information is happening. Engineers, institutions, engineers itself, themselves, are responsible for transmitting information to people of their country. And if they cannot do it, no one can do it. If they cannot do it, no one can do it. That's point here. If they cannot do it, no one can do it. My point again goes back to quality, not quantity alone. Because when I say quality, this means quality and quantity must be produced in combination. If I say no, quality is very good, quantity is not good, that's also not acceptable. If you say no, quality is very, quantity is very good, quality is not good, that is also rejectable. You cannot आइसोलेट टू, आप दोनों को अलग नहीं कर सकते. अगर आपने 10 प्रोडक्ट जैसे होता है, इफ़ यू आर गोइंग टू मेक 10 machines, then 10 machines must be same, performance should be same, their parts should be same, their warranty should be same, their working style should be same. These machines can stay elsewhere, but function should be same. Who would understand this point? When you go and buy a machine or an equipment you buy, what do you look for? What? What actually we look for? We look for performance of machine. We look for efficiency of machine. We look for what HP it is, BHP it is. We look for its fuel consumption or electric power consumption. We look all that because we experience that machine never works for 300 years or 200 years or 100 years. It works, say, for 5 years. When you go to buy a car or something else, you think that I have to spend this money for 5 years to 10 years maximum, and I'll replace it. Right? That's very important point here. Building or structure is a machine too, but different type. This machine is not manufactured in some industry, in some plant. It's manufactured on its home site, its home, or that structure. It is home born. Those who can understand this point can understand why I'm saying. You are just like, it's opposite to doctor, you see. A doctor or to judge or to lawyer, where client is accessible to office of doctor or office of lawyer or office of judge. No need of these professionals to come to home of client. But in our profession of structures or civil engineering, complete other cycle exists. Our professional, our expert, our highly qualified analyst has to go to home of that structure and that site, and that home is permanent from beginning itself. You can't move it in general. So this means it's much more than responsibility itself. How is that home? We have to know. Do you understand? How is that home? We have to understand. Machine can be fixed wherever you want to make a plinth of machine or fix it. Or it's too heavy, just make some foundation and fix it. But for your machine that is structure, it's machine. It's nothing else. So I don't understand this. It's machine. It's mechanism. We call it structural mechanism. It's a lot of activity involved within this, and every movement. Say you're sitting in a building. You think a building is a stationary object? No, it's not a stationary. It keeps on moving without your understanding, without your knowledge. It keeps on transmitting forces within its body all time 24/7. Forces are being transferred and are transferred. That point, if you will realize what I'm saying, that don't take it easy. You should not take it easy. Machine is machine. You mean to say, just like you cite your big machine on some foundation. So we do. But that machine, which you cite can be later removed and another can be brought onto that. But here, situation is different. It's permanent result. It's permanent, forever. Forever, when I say 50 years, 100 years, 200 years, depending upon what good design you produce and how does it work, how does it perform, and what's the environment, and maybe we retrofit it and give life to it for another 50 years. It depends. And if we can do that, that's civil engineering. Simple. Civil engineering or civil structure, whatever you call it. But it's big topic, because it is quality founded. Your concrete is rubbish if it doesn't have quality, and your reinforcing bars or steel bars are also rubbish if concrete is rubbish. It's relation between both. To be very clear, without good concrete, your steel is also useless. And if your concrete is good, your steel is good, everything is good, it's quality one, you are rich in building. Maybe there's no board on your building that's quality product. But time should tell you. Time shall declare itself, it shall announce that you spend money worth. That's what I say, as I said in transaction. Whatever you pay, you must get back. That's very common economical equation. And if you don't get back what you pay, so you are loser. Why should someone else make profit, undue profit from your, okay? Somebody serves you for your building, that person must be paid. That's that person's right, maybe contractor, maybe engineer, maybe someone else who is involved, spends efforts, whatever due payment remains, requires to be paid. That's one point. But again we come back to quality. What happened in lakhs of flats, in this country, many years back? They spent a lot of money on they borrowed money. These promoters borrowed money from banks. They borrowed money from public, and structure was not even completed, and they borrowed 70-80%. They not borrowed, you can say, they got investment. People paid them, and they got much more than that was due to them. And people were not aware, consumers were not aware of that. Result is these criminals, these crooked promoters escaped from sin, escaped from there. So still there's lakhs of flats still unoccupied and can't be completed because buyer has already paid what was due. So I mean is cheating, fraud is very common in high profile business of promotion. It had been, still is on. So when I say, well, I'm not going to talk about that because it will take long time. So my interest now is only for you know welcome Mr. Chaudhary Raju. You are good morning, sir. Namaskar. Thank you very much. Namaskar. Okay, fine. Uh, so when I say um, why I'm talking quality, because for me it's like a faith. We talk of faith, but quality in construction, quality in engineering, quality in designs, and quality everywhere is something that's unknown to public. And I regret that many engineers do not intend to get more information of that. I don't know reason behind that. Either they are settled in their callings, or they are in good positions. They're not doing any independent practice, or they are not freelancers. They don't face any competition. There could be many reasons, like government employees, or those who are in high profile, or who have no direct power. And of course, institutions are lacking in this regard. For example, Institution of Engineers India, which is a chartered body, is much more responsible than someone else, and they have also lacked in this regard. They publish a lot of data about engineering, but never I have seen any data, any debate, or any seminar or something webinar on quality dispatch written to them many times. They least bother. It's up to them. I'm not direct. I'm just a corporate member of that institution. I'm not in active position. I'm neither in council nor in someone else. I'm an ordinary person as far as public position is concerned. I'm just a chartered engineer, FIE, and professional engineer, international professional engineer. It doesn't make a difference as far as institution is concerned. Though my expiry of date has passed yet, I'm not. I'm waiting for renewal of that. If they don't renew, it's up to them. I can't say that. Or I submitted my data, but no, my issue is not that. My issue is quality of construction, concrete. See, there are so many items in buildings. For example, you can take excavation, and you can take preparation of formation, and you can take foundations, and and then protection of those foundations from chemical effects, soil, water, mobility effects, and many chlorides and sulfates that are already available in soil. This can change your structure of such material. That's where important point is. Those people who do not want to understand this is their bad luck, but it's very common. That's the reason I'm in public and talking to public, not to engineers alone. That if public forces engineers, because it's your money, it's not engineers' money, it's not nation's money, it's your money. You are user. You may buy through promoter, or you may buy directly, or you may construct your own home. It's neither architect's money, it's neither engineer's money, it's money for your own. And if you want to throw your money into water, that's your choice. Nobody can stop you, but I'm sure your money is by burning day and night. And maybe some of you are having illegal money. I can't say about them. For them, it's just business. But for common people, it's no question of business. It's a question of survival. Because this again, this point I talk that I have seen clients who least bother about durability of structure. Least bother about they just bother I should get this home so that later I can sell it. Even my relatives are like that. It's for them. For them, it's only money investment. I'm not talking on those behalf, on those people's behalf. I'm talking on genuine users, genuine buyers who would stay, would sleep in those rooms for decades, and these rooms should not result in graveyards, or collapsing buildings, or fire non-resistant buildings, or failure against seismic action, or wind havoc. When we design, we consider each and every point, each and every consideration in structures, and that's concerned from all parts of structure, from parapet to foundation and soil. That's called consideration of structural engineering. It's not in parts, it's a whole unit. If you think there's some number of columns and you're happy with that, don't forget that. That's not number of columns that count. How forces, how actions are transferred, that's more important. Because it's same thing as you walk, maybe 60, 70, 80, 90 kilogram yourself, you walk on some route, on something, how you transfer your weight, your force, body force onto that path, how you stand, what you feel when you stand. You feel is some heat up between your soul and surface, or it's a smooth surface, or it's a rough surface, or when some wind passes around envelope of your mind or body, how do you feel? How your clothes try to fly away. It's the same thing. Means there's nothing new with this. If you understand this point, right? How nature plays with you, how nature relates to you. That's an important point. That's a very important point. How nature deal with me. That's what exactly building is about. How does it deal with your building? That's it. Once you may say, oh, this is that building. No, no building is that, no structure is that. No. Every structure is life. Every structure. That's what we say. We say this is dead load, the we call load is dead. But actually, that's not dead. Dead it is in the sense that it can't be changed. When we say dead load, actually it's dead action. Dead load. Means, for example, we consider some calculations and say, for example, concrete is 2500 or 2400 kilogram per cubic meter, means per meter by meter by meter. That's experimented density of weight of concrete. Similarly, we have weight of steel, 7800 something per meter cube. So it's all data that is given to engineers officially available, and we calculate that. So we classify some load dead load, and we classify some load that is not permanent, or that changes from one location to other location. For example, dead load is lateral load of your slab, means lintel you call it, or column, or beam, or flooring. You can't change once you do it. Once you produce it, you can't change that action, that load. This is that action, you can say, but it's not dead. Name is that because you have no authority to change it. Yes, you can change it if you wish, but that will be another dead load then. So there are certain classifications. We know all, engineers know it, but for public, it's very important to know that we say, let us say in ordinary way, 250 kilogram or 200 kilogram per square meter, or 300 kilogram per square meter. For meter by per meter, we say, let's take this live load in ordinary calculations. So, but it's natural that's only assumption. It's never uniform. You see somewhere your bed is there, somewhere chair is there, somewhere high almirah is there, cupboard is there, somewhere you store something. So at every point there is no uniformity in life. So concept of live load is a kind of changing load. Concept of seismic action is a kind of changing load. Similarly, concept of wind load is also same. So those are different types of loading which happen from time to time during service life of structure. This seismic action doesn't happen every day. It happens maybe once in 10 years or 15 years, but it is very drastic. Similarly, wind also doesn't play all the time, and whenever there is wind playing, we don't consider seismic action. So there are certain calculation assumptions that are input, they are inculcated into the science, which engineers know very well. Nothing new for them. Just for your information, I'm trying to tell it. But my purpose is not a calculation of loads for you people, because loads can be worked out. That's not a big deal. Deal is not load here. Deal is means first of all, because this whole that load or live load or whatever load, seismic load or whatever type of actions, we call actions also in European codes, and we can load also in our codes. So loads or whatever actions, these are to be transferred to strata below foundation. Strata means, I'm calling strata is means strata means there is no uniformity in whole earth. Maybe 1 meter, 2 meter, 3 meter, say one strata, then there's a change in strata, or you say layers. You may see if you can't understand strata, maybe layered change. Say there's 1 meter layer of clay, then there's 2 meter layer of sand, there may be 3 meter layer of something else, limestone or sandstone, or there may be down then a rock, lime rock, or it could be igneous rock. You can't say. You don't know because you can't see. You can't investigate. Only some professional can investigate that. And that professional is a person who knows soil engineering. And soil engineering is a part of civil engineering. It's nothing new. Yes, somebody may be specialized in that, having higher degree. So that person must be have higher knowledge. But it's not that higher. You can't understand as an engineer, and you can understand as a common citizen also, that your your total total load on your foundation should be absorbed by layers of soil below, and if it's not absorbable comfortably, it will cause problems to your foundation. And of course, then if your unhappy foundation feels unhappy, your whole structure shall feel unhappy. This point you have to understand. Sometimes you find some cracks in walls. Walls means brick walls, or some other walls, that's block works. You may find some horizontal cracks, sometimes inclined cracks, diagonal cracks, sometimes some other kind of cracks. Or you see it's down, or there's a big crack, it's settling. What do you think then? Because you never know why it happened. And at that time you are not aware when you backfill your foundation. You did not take into care what must have been done, what might be done. That time you are very, you know, very pleased to push your job so that you could finish that building by that date. You were interested in that, or your contractor was interested in that. You were interested in that date. You did not think that this could also happen. That's why I'm saying, once you do something in construction, you know, wrongly, it's it's reinstatement or its total repair is many times expensive than what you think at original stage you could save. This is also part of quality. It's not sort of only concrete quality. I'm talking concrete related quality system. Some people I have seen say, "Oh, I will add 8 columns to this. I will add 6 columns to this." Somebody asked me, "How many columns should I add?" Because people are not clear. It's not their fault. They believe in pundits. Oh, don't use 9 columns. Don't use 11 columns. Keep this and that. Those people who have nothing to do with civil engineering, with construction engineering, they are consulted by owners. They think faith is more important than engineering. Just like Vastu experts befool public. They think Vastu is more important than structure. This you can say where faith dominates everything else. You know what happens. Faith is never logical, faith is never scientific, and same thing happens. I have seen because of Vastu, many structures have been unnecessarily disturbed because of misinformation, bad information. What is Vastu to do with your home? I don't understand. Vastu applies to your body, not to your home. If you think of Vastu, then you should not have RCC. You should not have stone. You should live only hutment. That's it. Mud house. This is all hollow vessel pundits. They are nothing. They just want to keep their shops running. That's it. Vastu means you have to connect to nature. That's it. Nothing else. Vastu. Vas means what? Where you are living. Vas means residence. Where you are living, that residence should be comfortable. That's it. So first, where are you living? First, everybody is living in a human body. My first residence is this body. So if I keep my body fit, if I keep my body strong, if I am friendly to nature, I am friendly to sun, I am friendly to wind, I am friendly to good air, I am friendly to environment, I am friendly to keep clean. Vastu works. First, I have to apply Vastu to myself. People say no, it should be south. Yes, there is direction, I agree. North, south, east, west, there is. What does it mean? This is relative direction. Direction in relation to movement of sun, nothing else. But you are in envelope of the solar system. That's why you are bound by that. But don't forget, your body is not in isolation. Your body has another element, permanent element in this, which cannot leave your body until you leave this world. And that is called soul. Soul has its electromagnetic system within this. It operates in my body, in your body, in everybody's body. So if you keep sleeping in north, which is magnetic one pole, there shall be repulsion. So if you keep your head towards south in relation to solar system, You shall have little comfort. It's calculated like this. There is no other science. That's some reference I'm giving. I'm not going to talk in elaboration of Vastu in this talk because keep yourself fit and your home shall be fit. That's it. Otherwise, there is no logic to any religion or faith. But if you believe in those people, it's your choice. Those people are believed, they don't have any knowledge, and those who are telling you, they are having qualification, they have an analytical study. If they tell you something, you don't believe that. So this is your bad fortune. Job of engineer is to suggest you best way to orient a house and to build a structure. But if you don't listen, no one can help you. So my quality system also relates to this. Unfortunate that I am tired of advising people, but I think sentiments always overrule logic and mind. Sentiments always overrule, and which is bad bad fortune. Think of, just talking religiously, faith, dharma. You have seen always three powers, and that is Vishnu, Shiva, and Brahma. Above them is Mother. Okay, let us see these three powers. Executive powers. Did you ever see any bungalow or Vishnu? Note it. Where does live? On sea, Seer Sagar. Name is Seer Sagar. There is a boat of Nagaraj on which sits. Where is bungalow? And Brahma. He sits on what? He also does not have any bungalow. And Shiva, where is his bungalow? So when they do not need bungalow, this means they are least bothered about Vastu. But you are so much obsessed with these illiterate Brahmins, Pandits, that they just keep you befooling, and you are successfully customized by them. If I advise you something, you will never, ever accept my advice. If a Pandit advises you, you will accept that advice. So, example, which Pandit told you COVID-19 would come in year 2020? Did somebody tell you? But it has come. Now where is Rahu? Where is Ketu? Where is this and where that? And nobody knows when COVID-19 is going to go away. It is same thing. You cannot predict. You cannot predict action of God. You do not know what is God. God is biggest, top engineer, doctor, medico, professor, everything. If you keep this in mind, you will enjoy benefit of your thoughts, because you have to change your thoughts if you want quality system. First you have to think quality wise. Only then you can own quality. If you say no, my criteria is different, okay, then nobody can help you. quality of concrete, I am stressing, it's really logical. Why do I stress on quality of concrete? Why I always why do I always remain behind that? क्यों मैं बार बार आपको कह रहा हूँ कि कंक्रीट की क्वालिटी पे ध्यान दें? आखिर ऐसा क्या है? मैंने ये समझा कि हमारे देश का जो कल्चर है, इंजीनियरिंग कल्चर, my country's engineering culture hasn't upgraded itself. When I see some projects, really, I feel very much disappointed. Not by projects, but by those who control them. They may be professionals or they may be contractors. They may be government engineers or they may be freelancers. They may be third party people. All move in same boat. Because destination of these employees or these personnel or these labels is not quality exclusively. Contractor things to make money, promoter to things to make as much as possible, and you know what others think. Freelancers think or third party think we have to just do formality and make a report. Why should entangle? And if the third party, we should be independent. Meaning of third party is independent party. But in general cases, I have seen there is no independence. They are dependent on powerful. This means they are not real third party. They are biased party. This I have experienced. Third party, which is not very old fashioned, but which is, you can say, third party means party other than engineer and contractor, other than contractor and employer. That means third party. Third party establishment, third party creation has certain elementary objective. There are two parties, they work together. Contractor is second party always in contracts, and employer is party one. And there is engineer also, which is independent to some extent, you cannot say full. But even then, sometimes they are government employed engineers, or sometimes you cannot say that they are exclusively independent. To some extent, they are biased. A government employee is biased towards its government organization, so actually you cannot call them third party, they are biased party. So just to eliminate that flaw, third party freelancing system was started, and it's everywhere involved, just like quality system, that is IS 9001 third party certification, though people call it ISO 9001 certification, which is actually misnomer, because purpose of quality system organization, that is ISO 9001, is not certifying someone, it's just standardization of standards. That is job of ISO 9000 body. ISO, International Standards Organization, name itself as standards organization. This organizes standards. If we can understand this point, we can understand basics behind that. Quality has gone to third party in certain surveillance terms, cannot say directly surveillance. Job of TPC, so call it third party team you may call it, or third party certifier you may call it, is to ensure by hidden eyes or by remote facts regarding contents, regarding contractual requirements, which are must be implemented. Not necessary that third party stays there full time. No, no dedication. Third party must have a brain to ensure and to dislocate and to discover errors created by contractor and masked by employer engineers. So you can say responsibility of third party is very, very significant. If there is no third party certification, you can say project quality is not reliable. And again I say reliable. When we say reliable means it should be safe, it should be serviceable, and it should be durable. It's sometimes not easy to grasp full reliability. Job of third party is very dynamic mentally. Third party should be fair even to that one who pays to third party. Third party doesn't mean is support employer who pays to you. No, it doesn't mean that. When you are independent, means you are independent in each and every respect. And if you cannot, I'm paid by this employer, how can I speak against this employer, or how can I speak against employer's engineer? So you are not doing your job. Simple. If you have guts to write against contractors, you must have guts to speak against employer as well. Otherwise, you are missing your responsibility. You are not doing your job. You are paid to criticize bad acts done by employer as well as by contractors. Generally, government projects do not employ freelancers. They employ their own engineers to control projects. This means those engineers, though they are project engineers, they are responsible, but even then, there is sheer need for third party onto them and onto contractor both. Third party doesn't mean rule something, I'm not saying that. But it's job of third party to ensure whatever is included within all contract documents is implemented. If they cannot do that, this means fundamentalism of third party goes away. So you are not third party then. You are a third party only for contractor. Ridiculous. You are going to protect government or employer or project engineer. Why? Means your oath you are breaking. If that engineer is so happy with you, this means you are biased. Yes, you can comment whatever you want to comment. That engineer is engineer. But you are scrutinizing engineer for both, for government as well as for contractors. So if you have different eyes for both, you are not professional. You can't have any eligibility to be appointed as third party. In that case, it's only formality because of requirement of system. But I think formality is never valued. If there is no functionality in that appointment, I think that appointment is public waste, money waste, time waste, as we simply call in organizational system, management system, that cost, quality, and time are important. So this is also a part of that. If I spend money and trust third party, then third party should really be there in existence. Don't take action. I'm not saying that, but report correctly. Don't fear government and don't fear engineers. Do your job if you want quality production. If you say, no, 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 because I have to take another contract from this employer, then you are not freelancer. So, if you keep in mind, you have to take another contract from this person, from this employer, through this engineer, project engineer, or someone else. So, you are also cheating public. So, frankly speaking, your interest is business. Your interest is not technical, not contractual. Well, I think when I talk of quality, every such points plays every such point. Because quality cannot be achieved when you have interests, vested interests. Contract has own world. Government engineer has its own world, and government has its own world. But which world is yours? Third party, sir. Which is yours? Your interest is that. That's why third party. You work on behalf of people, you work on behalf of real user, and you work on behalf of that power. That has made you third party. Because you're third party, you are not bound by anyone, you are free. You are free. But you are not free. So you nominate yourself what sort of person you are. If you cannot do that, don't accept contract of third party. Clearly written in contracts, third party, that you won't support anyone. You see, whatever contract of TPC you like to, you will neither support contractor nor engineer. You will work on behalf of none. But I have seen differently. Generally, they are biased towards engineers and government persons. They have no courage to write against government employees. They have no courage to write against management of government. So where is third party? So then how can you achieve quality system? Purpose of third party is to qualify, to get quality done. Your purpose is not for funding. Your purpose is nothing else. Your purpose is operation of contract, administration of contract, correctly. And that's not direct purpose. You have to make sure administration done by that state, a government, or else is a collective requirement. And if you can't do that, forget. This is the only reason I'm talking to people first, not to engineers, because I am fed up with engineers. Really, they they can't understand until they are impacted upon. They can't understand. My experience forces me to talk like this, to speak like this, to write like that. I'm not writing as such because I think, not only think, but also I realize change in writing culture, changing reading culture, changing assimilation, and change in focus. One new disease that has come is mobile. I've seen people out of 24 hours, they keep on talking many hours, 10 hours, 5 hours. When they are, they only talk and talk and talk. I don't know means what they talk for so many hours, waste their energy and waste energy of other end, whoever they are, their friends or their family members. What happens? Talking and talking derails your concentration. Means if you talk for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, you think you remember what you have to do 3 hours before? Do you think that? I don't think so. I don't think so that you could do that. I'll take some water if I can get it. I'm feeling a little thirsty. Sorry, let me ask the person. ओ यार जहाँ मतलब बैंकिंग फ्रॉड यार इसका साला ये बकवास करते रहता है. बकवास करता नहीं यार. So if we talk for many hours, I have seen many people here in recent times as well, and I never expected people have got that much stamina. Talk couple of hours on mobile, and then simultaneously remember everything. I write also sometimes. Don't don't keep your concentration at risk. Don't keep concentration at your risk, because if you lose concentration, you lose so much. If you lose concentration, you lose so much. You even forget what you studied, what you were doing. Well, I can't generalize this for engineers, but many youth pertain to that act. I've seen some my attendants, medical attendants, talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. To whom I don't know. So means culture has penetrated to such fields. Culture has penetrated to such fields enormously. Mobile culture. Well, I don't know. It's not. It's not good for engineering applications or engineering systems. I won't support that. I can't digest it. You may say I can't digest that. That you keep on talking and talking, and every activity in engineering, it may be construction or it may be designs or planning or safety or quality, wherever you go and work as a practical engineer, you are required to concentrate on each details of activity, every detail of activity. And if you cannot do that, you cannot accomplish that job. That's also one point which I think you know very well. If I say no problem, I'll manage, then I lie to myself. I can't manage. It's not possible to talk many hours and remember. Even sometimes writing a lot, we forget something. If we relook at that, we'll find this is an error or this is an error. So I will suggest all those, particularly field field engineers, who who every day plan new activities, or who every day are involved on varying activities. They must concentrate on activities, on job assignments, and assign proper adequate work to their junior associates, or else you can't perform, or you can't coordinate, because coordination is soul of modern engineering, particularly construction. And if you cannot do that, coordination is a kind of specialization these days, much more difficult than your discipline. It may be field engineering discipline or design engineering discipline. Coordination is much more valuable, and I'm finding that we don't respect coordination activity. Engineers are not interested in coordination, because it's not their fault as well. They have no experience in coordination, and that coordination, you know, lack of coordination leads to errors, and such errors means which got no solution. Coordination is a big part of quality system. Remember, when I'm talking concrete quality, I'm talking coordination also. Coordination is something which you can generate within yourself. Nobody shall teach you. It's something you imagine yourself. No professor can teach you coordination, because your mind can coordinate only when it understands work. And understanding of work cannot come to you through your professor, through your teacher, through someone else, except really working in field. You have to become your own professor, you have to become your own teacher, you have to become everything yourself, or else you cannot do that. And that's important point here. And if you cannot do that, you waste your time. So I say that coordination is very important point from construction viewpoint and from this viewpoint. And if you cannot do that, who is this? Who is this?
Yeah, hello.
Yes, what do you want? What do you want? Who are you and what do you want?
Yeah, Dodha.
Get lost. You fool, get lost. Nonsense people come again interfering. So, some people disturb you always, you can't help it. You don't realize time of public, they just live in their own narcotism. I don't understand what's happening. I was talking coordination, and coordination means you have to stand parallel with all. Coordination is no subordination. Remember, it's multiplicity of disciplines that you have to deal with. It's very important activity in current environment. Don't think that software shall help you, VIMS shall help you. No, that is just a machine. That is just software. You have to conceive yourself. Coordination means everything. And if you can't do that, certainly you shall make mistakes. Certainly. This is my guarantee. I promise to you. I've done a lot of coordination. It takes time. It's much more than your 10, 12 hour working, industrial working. No. Sometimes you have to work all time, night. During work you have to work. Sometimes you forget even one point. That can cause trouble to you. It's not civil coordination. It's not architectural coordination. It's total coordination. Total disciplinary coordination. Whatever disciplines are included and involved on project, it is duty of coordination engineer or whatever you call that person. It's duty of that particular engineer to study each and every document contained within contract pertinent to that subject. अरे पहले गर्म पानी दे दो यार आधा कप मैं कप से फ़ोन भी किया था उसको नहीं यार so what I'm in is I'm interested in taking some hot water because of my my throat is drying out and I want to talk a little more. It's just 1 hour and 15 minutes, so after a couple of days I come back just to pass my time as well as just to bore you. I'm interested in boring you very well, and I'm just interested to see that coordination establishes itself a very big discipline, and only you can do it because it's not architecture's job. Architecture's job is not, it's the engineer, it's not structural engineer's job as well. This is something else, means where you can't find some technology. You have to study all drawings, all documents, all requirements, all feed, all philosophies, whatever is possible, and you have to deal with those people who are specialized from those disciplines: mechanical, electrical, elevators, translators, and all those, SCADA and CCTV and whoever is there, equipment people and all those people, whatever items are included on the project. If you enter into that world, coordination world, you can make a specialized professional. Coordination people are not easily available. That's also true. We should accept that fact as well, that coordination people are not easily available. And if you can make yourself a coordinator, you can make your engineering career differently. Well, I expect even civil engineers and structural engineers must be good coordinators. But I think structural engineers have different mindset. They don't want to keep isolated from real engineering. So I have no objection to that. It's up to them. If they want to be only paper on paper, they don't want to be on something, real world, realistic world. Because structure as also requires vast amount of coordination. It's a very important point. You cannot simply design a building or structure with multiplicity of services just by choosing or saying, "Oh, this is my structure. You follow it." That world at that time is no more. That time is no more. So you have to be little, very practical in that sense. And if you are not, yeah, then cheating yourself. When I worked as project manager or organizer or in other similar position, coordination, of course, when I was new, it I felt it's very cumbersome, it's very time consuming job, but every important work, every significant work requires time and requires your energy. So, particularly those budding engineers. Particularly those who are budding, it's very important to align in coordination. Coordination means total control. It means work control. Sorry, hot water. Actually, coordination is engineering, and engineering is coordination. It's to call HVAC engineering, subject is itself engineering. Electrical system, smoke detector system, surveillance, firefighting, fire suppression, FM 200, Energen, and dry fire extinguishers, firefighting ringmain, SCADA, it's called supervisory control acquisition data, and many such project dominating systems, fence controls, punch card, security card, access control, you can say, if not punch control, access control. You know, there are innumerable systems innumerable one, which mean by coordination. You have to understand them. Depending on project, so many systems you will find which are linked to services directly, and which are linked to passing their elements or their routes through structure. Example, heat ventilation, air conditioning, ducting system, which itself has many accessories: fire damper, volume control damper, attenuators, sound attenuators we call it, then supply, and then return and grills, and like false ceiling system. These are not, you can say, independent disciplines. Yes, they are independent to discipline engineers, but for a civil engineer who takes care of site, who who is responsible for project, or even associate, means there may be whatever software development, there may be whatever, but mind can't be developed by software. Mind cannot be developed by software. We have to realize this point. How can your mind how can your mind be dependent on software? Because mind itself is natural software. So it's much more powerful than language. But you can think, no software can think. So first of all, exhale from your mind that something is practically possible automatically. And also take out from your mind that you have to focus on specialized discipline alone. Because future does not lie in hands of specialization, it lies in hands of rationalization rather. See my throat open now. Sorry. I'm talking of coordination because coordination is very much linked to quality. If there is no coordination, there can be no quality. Quality means work quality. You can miss functionality of disciplines. You can miss, sometime you will find beam, structural beam, main beam is required to let pass duct through it. Can you accept that? This happens as a civil engineer. Shall you accept that? Nobody shall accept that. So what shall you do? They catch, So what will happen then? Say it happens on your site. Now you have to pass your beam. You have to pass your duct, AC duct through this beam. And no structural engineer, no civil engineer can accept this. No way. So what to do in that case if this situation comes? This means this situation comes because of lack of coordination. There's no space in yours, another space, space above, can say, what I mean to say, another space, this space above ceiling. So many services pass through there. All services, let's say hospital buildings, all services pass through there. Gas services and HVAC services and many more services. And in some cases, you can say, even services related to surgical panels or trunking or heavy cables, and so much so is there there is no room for some surfaces to truly align with those systems. So why it happens? It happens because of lack of coordination. This point we must realize. You may simply say, okay, if you want to pass duct through beam which is already cast, we will drop ceiling and we pass this duct below beam. Yes, that is one possibility if already ceiling is too high. If there's restriction, then what to do? That's what I'm saying, that when I was young, I was coordinator. I used to plan, I used to make reflected ceiling plans. Reflected ceiling plans. I used to design or coordinate with everything. Reflected ceiling plans and plans for even tiling, floor tiling and wall tiling, and plans for everything, elevations. And though you might not do yourself, you can hire someone. It doesn't matter. You hire some draftsman for that, or you may be having draftsman with yourself. So you can guide, you can direct that employee. That's what's your duty. I'm not saying you sit down there, no, but your mind should be involved. That's more important. There may be swimming pools internally. It may be something else. So it is coordination which questions everyone. And if we are not well educated self by self, I am saying by self because no one on no one in profession can teach you this until you yourself teach about connective, interlinked disciplinary activity. So question of concrete quality expands to all disciplines. It's not simply that we have to see only concrete in isolation. Concrete is power. It's such a power that it keeps everything intact. In structures, all loads it keeps intact. It keeps your reinforcing bars intact. It keeps so much so intact that you can stay safe there, sleep safe. And it's not only you, it's for everyone. All those who use these structures, wherever, this applies to everyone. Coordination is very important activity. It is actually total disciplinary activity. Architectural structural coordination, structural services coordination, architectural services coordination, services coordination like electromechanical engineering coordination, EME we call it, and all other services coordination. I'm not going to name each and every services because you know more than that. But if you say no, it's not my business, then whose business is that? That question arises. In that case, I would say it's better to start a new skill development of coordination engineering, which is missing everywhere. Means you should be on drawing board. I mean to say on drawing, computer drawing, whatever. How you coordinate. That's your art. How can you coordinate? Nobody would tell you what to do because it is coordination. Means you are equal to all. This means coordination. You are not subordinate. You are in coordination. So what I stress today in coordination is according to concrete. Concrete has, access to, you can say, every state or every nation of your profession. Without coordination, you cannot work. That's also true. Whatever big you are, whatever you have to think there's a problem, you have to resolve it. That's what coordination is. There may be a clash in manhole. Inward level are not matching. Pipeline inward level is not matching with manhole. Very simple example. There may be a clash with some other services passing through that. There may be some electric duct bank. There could be any damn thing. How to do that? There may be some slab which is more than, you can say, 30 degrees inclined, 45 degrees inclined. You cannot pour it without having adequate system, because you have to make double shuttering, both side shutters. So you have to think how to pour it. That's also a part of coordination. Who shall teach you that? Only your experienced guys can teach you that. It may be foreman, general foreman. It may be someone else, or your senior, or your junior, because they have worked in field. They sometimes know empirical activity. They cannot make a design for you, but they can do job on site. That is that not adequate? A part of coordination. Adequately part of coordination. It's a part of coordination, I think. And now, question is who understands and who commands? Without successful coordination in concrete and all activities, you can't move project. Forget it. Coordination of civil itself, coordination of design itself, coordination of design and foundation itself, coordination how to handle everything. Very important point. But something is not seen. It's behind curtain. The same thing happens here. Something is behind curtain. Here, hero is not seen. Is behind curtain. But without that script writer, activity can't be done. It may be shop drawing, it may be working drawing, it may be fabrication drawing, it may be interdisciplinary drawing. Without availability of that, actual locations cannot be worked out and implemented. This is where we have to concentrate, and this is linked to control quality of concrete. Concrete doesn't mean concrete only. Concrete itself is solid, worth material. Your building, we call concrete building or steel building. We are talking concrete building. So concrete building is concrete building. It must be concrete in service. That's important. It's not simply talk. It's professional walk. I am imaginarily walking professionally. Your tutor would never told you what will happen in field. I watched one video of IIT Delhi about some 10 lakh scheme of a house, and they did something, they published it, and when somebody interviewed them, oh, that's it, we don't have any coordinator for this. We need some coordinator. They are answer at all. We need some coordinator for the specialized person. If you are not coordinator, why did you take up such a step? Just for news purpose? Anyhow, I'm just referring because they should not have done that. Because either be ready with every question, that's answer, that's raised, that how shall I do it? So no, we'll get some coordinator. There should be some coordinator who can coordinate each and every activity. We are not having that one. So that's not right approach. You may be doing some research, okay, for research it's okay, but you should keep in mind that it's not, it's not bachelor research, it's work research. You're going to build something based on that, and if you have no answer, then your research is void, I can say. It's only for papers, you think? It's only for writing? Then, okay, congratulations for you. If you want to include a paper in your research work, or you say, oh, I published this, and I'm a great person. Only for that it's okay, but otherwise, professionally, this research cannot reach people of this country, and if whatever paper you write, whatever book you write, if that doesn't reach public, I think there's no meaning at all. You may feel happy yourself. I'm author, I'm awarded, and this and that. Real award is public. If public is not able to use quality even 5 to 10%, 50%, 20%, where is the reward? Here we lack, this is a fact of life. We lack here. And that's why we call it, our goods are not international level. And even if you see steel of these big producers, you will find defect in steel. And they don't properly advise their consumers, their customers, how you store them. No steel vendor instructs, contractor or buyer how you can store this, how you can protect it from rust. They are only interested, I dispose it, finish, I get my money, and that's it. Why I should worry about what shall happen to this steel bar? And this is, nonsense thinking. They are only interested in their business. They're not interested in real business. Here, if I ask some even some chemical manufacturers, means I would talk to your engineer, and no, we are not interested in that. I'm just, if you want to buy something, I'll give you that one. Otherwise, you talk to factory engineer can tell you, means a system is completely closed. It's collapsed one. No one is technical. No one is interested in engineering, and without that, I think, to be frankly, it's a firing statement I'm telling you. We are losing engineering controls everywhere. Uh, Forget engineers until they stand on quality. I condemn all who do not care for quality, whatever level of engineer they are. If they think, oh no, my design is duty, that's it. Design is my duty. Your design is worthless. It's not implemented. Again and again, I suggest, I advise. Design is design only when it is done. And if you think it's only for papers, then thank you very much for your design. I don't need such designs. Some people may not like it. Don't worry, don't like it. It's to whom you want to show. It should be done. Nobody is fighting for this. No one. Unfortunately, it is unfortunate. You calculate whatever moments, whatever forces, whatever deflections, whatever accelerations. You calculate whatever you want to calculate. What's fun of that? If concrete and steel breaks them, they don't accept them. If foundations don't accept them, if soil rejects them, or person in field least bothers, what's fun on that? What's technical on that? Means I'm really surprised with mentality, mindset of engineering stuff, engineering fraternity, particularly civil. And civil is basics of everything. If civil engineers, if civil engineers cannot, cannot do it, electrical mechanical can't do it, certainly civil can be done by civil. That's it. And if you say, oh no, no, अरे भाई सिविल का काम तो सिविल वाला ही करेगा, कौन करेगा? बेसिक only fundamental engineering is, only foundation engineering is civil. And if we skip our responsibility by whatever way, by lamenting architect on, by lamenting something else on, ultimately action has to be done by engineer. So simple. Forget law. Forget everything. What position do you take yourself? That's question mark. Those people who are in government service, how much care they take about job? They are in power. What quality they produce? Everybody knows. Everyone knows. Except polishing their bosses and their bosses and their bosses and politicians. What is their achievement? What is the achievement? Where is quality? Blank question is, where is quality? Are you born to please your bosses or your politicians, or you are born to serve nation, public? This is the truth. Bland truth, blank truth, frank truth. If my engineer or myself or a senior engineer doesn't know specification of concrete, how can I expect that person to produce quality? How? Is CPLUD specification everything? No. That is old, rubbish, obsolete. If our engineer doesn't know what should be temperature of water, what should be temperature of concrete, how do you know? How can you make sure that engineer is reliable? Just having number of your experiences no matter. Performance is important. Performance means nobody is interested to change. Somebody blames contractor, somebody blames architect, and somebody blames something. Why? Blame must go to engineers. I don't hold architect responsible for this. They are not qualified for that work. Yes, design, architectural design, interior decoration. Okay, fine, this is the job. But they're not qualified for concrete production. If they do so, this is interference. This is the infringement. And their law is infringing law. Law, they are up to 1989 infringement of law, for which engineers are scared to speak against them. They are not qualified for concrete, not at all. If you just read 6 months, 7 months in your architect syllabus, some structure, it does not mean that you are qualified for that. I also studied electrical engineering subject, mechanical engineering subject, applied thermodynamics. Am I qualified for that? If I say I'm a mechanical engineer, I can't be. If I'm electrical engineer, I can't be. Means there's so many subjects that we study in engineering just as fundamental to understand, not more than that. If I start saying, oh, because I qualified elements of electrical engineering, electronics of electrical engineer, I studied mechanical engineering, I'm mechanical engineer, I studied I'm thermodynamics engineer, I also studied applied geology, I'm geologist. So we can say that, but no, that's far from facts. Yes, we have knowledge, we can construct based on that knowledge something. We can use that knowledge that is indeed that is based on facts. Why did I talk on concrete that much? Say in about 250 pages, I talked on that. Only reason was I wanted to share with you something which our people are not aware of, because I cannot say that they they don't know that they know everything. They know all that, but again, this is, see, lack of concentration, or you can say ignorance of profession. Some people, they have settled in jobs, so they don't want to learn, or they want, okay, we get something free of cost, we will learn. Mentality is that. Once I was in Ludhiana long back. I was a resource person to teach, to share, you can say, you cannot say teach, share with government engineers from level of junior engineer to chief engineer. It was long back. I try to give them basics of seismic actions, and something means, you can say, which is very very much fundamental, but those people lost temper. Please tell us only what precautions we should say, what we should do. Yes, if you tell them something, people don't want to grasp also. They don't want to absorb that. Because they are well settled, they are not going to change their job. They are government people, they were government people, and they just were forced to come to that class because of government regulations. At that time, it was upgradation of knowledge, or update your knowledge on seismic forces, or how to handle this situation. So I mean to say is that I was talking to them about soil, is very much relevant to seismic action. I was talking something about clay and sand and all that. And then how this seismic action happens, how it means whatever is the fire zone and whatever is the, I don't exactly remember now. I gave them complete presentation, but patience. I find that they just wanted information for their purpose and nothing else. So if that's tendency of civil engineer, civil field is not limited to civil only. First we understand that. If you want to limit to structure, that's your weakness. Civil is something that a kind of gross field, gross, which may import mechanical as in terms of HVAC, which may import elevators in terms of lift or travelators or escalators, which may also import your electrical systems, transformers, switch gears. These are very basics, which may also import your plumbing, sanitary, and also now there is a much difference of understanding about this systems because of COVID-19. There must be expected many changes in the systems in near future regarding stacks of sea plumbing, water supply, and also you may say, how to handle sewage, how to handle water tanks. There will be enormous changes in designs in coming time. Even now we say that's a 10-story building, we can take one stack for all these apartments. That's not going to work in future. We have to provide, differences now. We have to provide more spaces to everything, and that's very important point. We have to say that we have to provide much more to that one, which is going to happen. You cannot simply say that whatever is happening now is going to work in future. We have to change complete design set. We have to provide more space to ducting system, internal ducting. It's maybe there will be 10-story building, but stacking, plumbing stacking, or sanitary things, soil pipes you call them, soil pipes, or previously used to call them sand cast iron pipes or cast iron pipes, and now we call them plastic pipes. Maybe not more than 2 floors, one pipe fetch into manhole, or maybe not more than three. So forget 10 or 15, and high rise would be a question mark now, because high rise is not preferred in this scenario because of health issue. High rise means importing COVID. Very frank. So we trust, I can say enormous changes, shall happen in future. Enormous changes will happen, which is of course new innovation type thinking, you can say. You have to think differently, uh, this way, or we can't deliver such project now. Maybe 20-story high rise, 25 30-story high rise, they're not suitable for COVID-19. Means certainly against hygiene, against health, public health. So there's a question mark now. It all relates to design quality, concrete quality, system quality, design of new systems, and design even here. This HVAC is dangerous now. It's dangerous, and your wall mounted or a split unit air conditioner is also very dangerous, because if there's a question of fire or something else, there's so many questions now. So what I state is something that some may realize or some may not realize. But life moves on. The engineer has to think again and again, again and again. And this means new level of coordination, or you may say super coordination. And you cannot say, no, I can't waste space. Ducting, sanitary ducting, or in our country we call them shelf, SHEL, what we call generally international scenario. It's called ducting, plumbing ducting, or sanitary ducting, or you can say that duct means open to sky area. So you have to make sure you have to provide more space to such cases, so that multiple floors are not allowed, same stack, like that. Also, centralized system, air conditioning system is also not that supportive now, keeping in view ventilation and keeping in view circulation of air and everything, and fire danger, all. There have been instances that even volume control dampers and fire control dampers have resulted in futile action. Even in Gulf countries, they provided fire control dampers, but they failed to work when it was required. What was so it means maybe during testing it worked. I can't say that. During civil defense testing, these might have worked successfully, but later when real service was required, non-testing commissioning service was required, these failed to do their job. So we can say, of course, this is a question mark that We have to understand. Question mark that we can't run away from that. Question mark that we have to find answers to ourselves. We cannot leave it to someone else. Means, how can leave it to someone else? You tell me. After all, it's job of engineer only, not someone else. Yes, we have to discuss with professional disciplined people like mechanical or HVAC experts and electrical experts and fire experts, fire suppression experts, and can say, and whatever we discuss, ultimately it reaches to a design part of a structure. Ultimately, where you cannot exit yourself, escape yourself, can't. Means, say a building is on fire and it's high rise, and don't be happy if some building high rise is worth. Don't be happy with that. It's not necessary. We have evidence that high rise are not controllable. So just to show the world that I have high rise and I am highest in this building, well, I think it's futile attempt these days. What for, after all? They are going so high. You can't control. So this point is very important. Means, after all, it's expensive as well. Means, okay, for legend, landmark, you did do something. That's different. But not, you cannot say it's uniformity, uniform coefficient applies on that. No, it doesn't. I understand a building is comfortable if it serves. It serves in every environment and during fire particularly. Okay, during seismic action it may serve. During wind action it may serve. But it may not serve in every action. In every action it cannot serve. In every action it cannot serve. हाँ,
क्या हाल चाल?
ठीक हाल चाल है. सही हाल चाल है.
मैंने कहा दोनों तबीयत ठीक है?
हाँ ठीक है तबीयत, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है.
बुखार तो नहीं है?
कोई बुखार उखार नहीं है किसी को भी.
अच्छा.
अब तो हो गया, टाइम निकल गया इसका, अब क्या है.
हाँ, इसके टाइम तो निकल ही गया.
हाँ,
मैंने जो मेन टाइम था वो तो निकल ही गया.
16 तारीख को हुआ है तो आज 26 हो गई है. 10 दिन हो
हाँ,
गए.
26 हो गई, 10 दिन तो हो ही गए.
तो बस तो और 2-4-5 दिन की बात है.
और
फॉग.
क्या, वैसे तो पहले तो शुरू में 7 दिन का कहते थे.
अब जितना भी कहते थे.
हो गया नहीं.
हाँ,
शुरू में 7 दिन कहते थे क्वारंटाइन, है ना?
क्वारंटाइन थोड़ी है, फर्क है थोड़ा तो समझ. क्वारंटाइन में नहीं है ये आइसोलेशन में
नहीं,
है.
ये तो आइसोलेशन में है ना.
हाँ, क्वारंटाइन में तो मैं हूँ.
हाँ.
क्वारंटाइन में तो वो होता है जो बीमार नहीं होता.
अच्छा.
बात नहीं समझते लोग. क्वारंटाइन में उसे रखते हैं.
तो तेरे को तो नहीं है बुखार?
नहीं नहीं, मेरे को बुखार इसकी वजह से थोड़े आते हैं, थकावट की वजह से आते हैं.
अच्छा.
मुझे पैर वैर हिलाता हूँ ना, उससे आ जाते हैं बुखार.
बंटी को भी
और रात को
बड़ी
ठंड भी लगती है.
एलर्जी हो गई थी.
अब ठंड हो गई रात को.
हाँ.
अब ठंड लगती है तो फिर चादर ओढ़ता हूँ.
हाँ.
तो वो ठंड लगती, क्या करूँ. अब
ठंड
स्वेटर भी
तो
नहीं
भाई
है,
खैर
स्वेटर
अब
भी
शुरू
नहीं है
हो
कुछ.
गई है.
हाँ,
ठंड तो शुरू हो गई रात को, अब सुबह
नहीं
शाम
अब
की है
स्वेटर भी
ठंड.
नहीं पहना हुआ, कुछ भी नहीं पहना हुआ, कंबल भी बाहर नहीं है तो ठंड तो लगेगी ना. चादर से कितना रुक जाएगी.
हाँ.
2-3 बजे के बाद तो लगती लगती है.
लगती है तो चादर दो वाले, दो निकल वाले.
अरे एक ही काफ़ी है. दो से या पैर पे डाल लेता हूँ, पैर की प्रॉब्लम ज़्यादा है ना,
हाँ.
उस पर ज़्यादा ठंड लगती है.
हाँ.
उस पर डाल लेता हूँ.
कल रात को भी बंटी को बड़ी एलर्जी हो गई थी.
कैसे.
अरे इसको खुजली हो जाती है ना.
कहाँ गया था कल ये.
कहीं नहीं गया था.
फिर खुशी कैसे हो गई.
अरे वो काले चने खाता है ना, तो इसको खुजली हो जाती है.
कौन से काले चने.
यही सब्जी, चने, बेसन. बता रहे थे कोई से इसको एलर्जी हो
तो
जाती
क्यों
है.
खाए फिर इसने.
परसों बनाए थे ना.
तो बनाए तो मत खाता.
अरे ये वो, या कल गलती से सब्जी खा ली इसने.
अब
अब
ये
वो कोई सब्जी और थी भी नहीं, सही बताऊं तो।
नहीं थी तो कुछ और खा लेता।
हाँ, फिर सुबह 5 बजे चल कुछ 1 घंटा 2 घंटे हो गए इसको
जब
को
उसे
जाते को जाते।
अभी एक
आँख ही नहीं लगी थी मेरी भी, मैं भी उठ गई।
हाँ,
तो दवाई दी इसको, रखी थी जो।
अच्छा
हाँ, वो दवाइयाँ भी ऐसी है ना, नींद बहुत लाती है फिर।
अच्छा अच्छा।
ये भी तो है ना,
हम्म।
इसको हो जाती है खाने से ना ये चीजें।
नहीं तो जब उसको पता है तो उसको नहीं खाना चाहिए
एक
था
दिन
ना।
होली का रायता खाने से हो गई थी, कोमल के यहाँ खाया था।
अच्छा,
हाँ, बेसन होता है ना उसमें।
जब उसे पता है अभी ये चीज़ नुकसान करती है तो नहीं खानी
हाँ,
चाहिए, तो तुझे भी नहीं देनी चाहिए वो चीज़।
ये तो है।
कुछ और बना देती है उसके लिए।
हाँ, अब तो पैर में दर्द नहीं है ना ज्यादा।
दर्द तो मेरे पहले भी नहीं है, पैर में
नहीं,
दर्द
अब
नहीं।
तो मतलब ज्यादा पहले से तो बहुत बेटर लग रहा हो, काफी दिन हो गए
अब 2 दिन
ऑपरेशन
से तो
हुए।
मैंने लटकाया ही नहीं है, 3 दिन से तो पता क्या लगेगा।
हाँ, मत लटका अभी तो है।
अब मैंने कहा जब जाएंगे तभी देख लेंगे।
डॉक्टर ही बताएगा। अब
नहीं,
फिर तो इसके क्वारंटाइन के बाद ही जाना होगा ना, है ना तेरे
हाँ,
को।
वैसे तो क्वारंटाइन हमारा तो हो गया अब तक, 16 तारीख का 26 हो गई, लेकिन अब छोड़ के नहीं जा सकते ना इसको।
छोड़ के भी जा सकते हो, वैसे भी थोड़ा दिन रुकना भी चाहिए ना एकदम, है ना।
अरे मैं तो ये लैट्रिन की ना बस यही मेरी बकवास लगती है, बाकी कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। लैट्रिन जो करनी
हाँ,
पड़ती है ना ये बिस्तर पे तो
पहले
इतनी।
तो बता रहा था, वो यश बता रहा था कि 99 कभी बुखार आ जाता है तेरे को।
अरे वो बुखार इसलिए आ जाता है, एक तो ये इसको बुखार रहता है मोटी को।
अच्छा।
ये है ना मोटी प्रोमिला,
हाँ।
इसको रोज ही बुखार रहता है।
क्यों?
अरे उसको कोई बीमारी है अंदर की,
अच्छा,
वो हो गया, मुझे क्या पता, मुझे थोड़ी बताएगी वो।
पहले से ही है।
हाँ पहले से ही है ना उसको, कुछ प्रॉब्लम है।
अच्छा,
मुन्नी कहते हैं औरतों वाली
फिर।
बीमारी है, मुझे क्या पता कौन सी है।
अच्छा।
तो वो रोज ही करीब पूरी बीमारी, तो खाना भी बनाती है मेरे को, कई बार देख भी जाती है, तो उससे भी लग जाता होगा किसी तरह।
अच्छा।
वैसे दूसरा पैर की वजह से आता है, जब आता है पैर की वजह से तो अब नहीं आ रहा है 2 दिन से। अब
अच्छा।
दूसरा आ जाता है जब ज़्यादा लेटा रहता हूँ ना, मुझे वो मेरी को बहुत बहुत प्रॉब्लम है। अब
अच्छा।
जैसे 10 बजे 10:30 बजे लेट गए, अब सुबह
हाँ,
उठ तो वही उठेंगे 7 साढ़े 6 बजे।
हाँ,
अब ये
हाँ,
इसका जो लंबा पीरियड होता है ना 9 घंटे का, ये
हाँ।
20 बार तो मेरी आँख खुलती है रात को।
अच्छा।
फिर कहा चल थोड़ा पेशाब भी कर लूँ बोतल में, थोड़ा
हाँ।
थोड़ा पेशाब आता है।
अच्छा।
तो ये जो होते हैं ना बार बार उठना, फिर लेटना, फिर लेटना, फिर उठना, तो वो जो
हाँ,
टाइम है ना वो बड़ा करसता है फिर।
ये तो है ही।
भाई जब आदत ही नहीं है ऐसी, एक तो उतना आदमी 20 घंटे सोने वाला है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं
अब
है।
ये मुन्नी है जो, वो 4 दिन बाद आ जाएगी बाहर।
ये आज क्या तारीख है, 26, हाँ 4-5 दिन में आ ही जाएगी, 4-5 दिन में जितने दिन में आएगी।
है ना।
बाहर का मतलब हवा आ जाएगी, लेकिन वो ऐसा नहीं है कि एक्शन लेने लगे कुछ सारे।
नहीं नहीं, काम में
15-20 दिन,
निकलेगी
एक
सही
महीना
तो।
तो कुछ नहीं करने देना है इसको।
ना,
यही है, ठीक है, घर देख ली दूर से, इतना ही है, ताला लगा दे
बस
रात
इतना है,
को।
टीवी के वहाँ बैठ जाए।
हाँ वहाँ बैठ
है
जाए,
ना।
टीवी के वहाँ बैठ जाए।
और क्या।
ये नहीं कि भाग रही है इधर से उधर, उधर से इधर, वो नहीं
नहीं
चलेगा।
नहीं, अभी नहीं करना,
एक महीने अब
एक
इसको नहीं
महीना
करने,
तो आराम करना है
एक
इसको।
महीने नहीं करने देना इसको।
हाँ।
कहेंगे भैया तुम भैया मोटी वोटी अपना बना, रोटी वोटी।
अब जैसे मिल रही है वैसे खा लो, क्या हो गया, है ना भाई।
नहीं रोटी तो खैर खा ही रहे हैं, मैं तो एक ही रोटी खा रहा हूँ, सब्जी खा रहा हूँ अपनी, खा ली, और दूध तो, चाय तो
अच्छा।
मैं ले नहीं रहा इनकी, चाय तो काली पी रहा हूँ इनके हाथ की
हाँ।
चाय तो मैं अपनी काली पी रहा हूँ, सुबह भी रात भी।
अच्छा।
मैं पी नहीं सकता इनके हाथ की चाय।
हाँ।
वो ऐसी ही बना के देती है धोमन सी चाय।
अच्छा।
मेरे को अपने हाथ की पीने की आदत है।
और क्या।
ये उबालते नहीं है असल में, इनकी दिक्कत ये ढंग से उबालती नहीं है ये,
हाँ,
वो कच्ची पक्की करके दे देती है।
ये तो है।
और क्या करें, इनको ऐसी आती है, इन्होंने इतनी चाय बनाई नहीं होगी घर में।
हाँ, ये तो है।
तो सबको अपना अपना होता है सिस्टम।
तो कहीं रावण वावण नहीं जलते है ना।
हाँ
कल तो रावण वावण जले नहीं कहीं।
नहीं चले,
कहाँ जले कल।
पटाखे वटाखे चल रहे थे।
अच्छा, हमारे यहाँ तो इतने शोर शराबा नहीं था खैर।
अब तो कहाँ से आएगा, नहीं आया होगा शोर शराबा या।
दिल्ली में तो और ज्यादा हो रहे हैं ना अब तो।
हाँ
दिल्ली में तो 4-4 हजार केस रोज हो रहे हैं अब।
अरे कहाँ हो रहे हैं, कुछ नहीं हो रहे, झूठ बोल रहे हैं सब, मैं तो बता रहा हूँ ना, कुछ केस वेस नहीं हो रहे। ये सही बात कहाँ बता रहे हैं।
हाँ।
झूठी, मैं रोज इनकी देखता हूँ न्यूज़, रोज झूठी न्यूज़ आती है इस पे, जो इनकी वेबसाइट है ना सरकारी।
हाँ, अब तो न्यूज तो है ही नहीं, टीवी में बिल्कुल भी न्यूज नहीं है।
हैं,
कोविड का नाम ही नहीं है तो टीवी में।
मैं टीवी तो देखता ही नहीं।
हमें तो उसमें है ही नहीं कोई न्यूज।
मैं तो जो इनकी अपनी सरकारी है न्यूज़ वो आती है ना, इनकी माई
हाँ,
गवर्नमेंट डॉट इन,
हाँ, हाँ,
उस
हाँ।
पर आती है मेरी सरकार।
अच्छा।
वो रोज झूठ फैलता है, आज 45,000 हो गए, अरे तू टेस्ट नहीं कर रहा। अभी तक देख वो तो 10.34 करोड़ टेस्ट हुए हैं सारे।
हाँ
10 सवा 10 करोड़ टेस्ट तूने अब तक किए हैं।
हाँ
भैया 7 महीने में तुमने इतने टेस्ट किए हैं, बाकी टेस्ट कब
हाँ,
होंगे इनसे कोई पूछने वाला नहीं है।
ये तो है।
ये देखना 7 महीने में तुमने इतने टेस्ट किए।
अब तो ये
अभी
बीमारी सारी दुनिया में भी
अभी
रहेगी और
तेरह
एकदम
तेरह
सारी।
गुना टेस्ट कर रहे हैं, 13 गुना।
हाँ,
मतलब 13 आदमियों में एक का टेस्ट हुआ है।
और क्या।
तो इसका मतलब तुम्हें अभी 7 और 13 91 महीने लगेंगे।
हाँ,
सोच ले,
ये तो है।
91 महीने तक लोग मरे,
हाँ
8 साल तक लोग मरे।
हाँ।
तो ये पब्लिक ना इन चीज़ों को देखती नहीं है। अरे
हम्म,
देखो अब 45,000 हो गए, कम हो गए, पहले 90,000 थे, वो ऐसे बेवकूफ़ बना देते हैं।
हाँ
ये नहीं कोई पूछ रहा परसेंटेज कितने आ रही है, कोई नहीं पूछ रहा है इनसे।
हाँ, कोई इंटरेस्ट ही नहीं है किसी को।
और सब मस्ती में है।
हाँ
अब यहाँ कल वो आ गए, कोई पता नहीं दशहरा को बने, उसको कहा बंद करके दरवाजा मंदिर का, वो ढोल लेके आ गए लोग, मैं सब बिना मास्क लगाए, मैं इसको भगाया यहाँ से।
अच्छा।
मतलब बदतमीज लोग हैं, तो मंदिर में क्यों आ रहे हो भाई?
हाँ, लोग अभी भी नहीं मान रहे, इनके घर में पेशेंट भी है, देखो जरा।
हाँ, अरे पेशेंट हो या ना हो, तुम क्यों बिना, तुम मास्क
अरे
बिना लगाए?
पेशेंट तो है ही।
हाँ,
भाई घर में पेशेंट है, लोगों को अकल भी तो होनी चाहिए।
नहीं है ना किसी को कल, यहाँ पे किसी को कल नहीं है।
हाँ।
अपनी मस्ती है बस, ढोल बजा के आ रहे हैं, नाच रहे हैं। मैंने कहा, देख क्या
अच्छा।
रहा है, किसी ने कह रहा है किसी ने कोई मास्क नहीं लगा रखी। मैं सबको धक्के मार के बाहर निकाल दे, बंद कर दे दरवाजा। क्या
हाँ,
करोगे ऐसे लोगों का?
सही बात है।
अरे तुम्हें तमीज़ नहीं है, तुम दूसरे के मकान में घुस रहे हो
हाँ।
और ढोल बजा रहे हो, नाच रहे हो।
अच्छा
तुम्हारी शादी है तो हम क्या करें?
अच्छा। अच्छा।
हमने ठेका लिया तुम्हारी शादी का,
हाँ,
अपने घर में जाके नाच।
सही बात है।
ये लोग ऐसे बदतमीज अनपढ़ लोग हैं, क्या करोगे किसी को?
हम्म,
ऐसे ही बंटी कह रहा था 5 नंबर वो गया था तो कोई मास्क लगा के घूम दे रहा वहाँ।
कोई भी नहीं टोक रहा, ना कोई लगा रहा, दुकानदार भी नहीं लगा रहे अब तो।
तो फिर क्या करोगे बता?
तो आप दुकानदारों को कहो तो कहने की 4 दिन लगा के बैठा नहीं जाता, ये कोई बात थोड़ी है, बैठा नहीं जाता।
सारे दिन सांस क्यों ले रहे हो?
हाँ,
हैं? सारे दिन पेशाब क्यों कर रहे हो?
और क्या।
ये बेकार की बातें हैं,
हाँ,
तुमसे नहीं होता ये। बीमार हो जाओगे तब को क्या करोगे?
अब पोल्यूशन भी इतना हो रहा है, बहुत ज्यादा।
अब तो ये चलाए हैं पटाखे तो पोल्यूशन तो होएगा ना।
हाँ।
कल तो बहुत पटाखे चल रहे थे यहाँ, तो पता नहीं वो किसके चल रहे थे।
अच्छा
कल तो मोदी के पुतले फूके लोगों ने
अच्छा।
पंजाब में, हाँ, रावण बना के।
अच्छा।
कहते हैं ये
ये
गाड़ देंगे
ये
इसको।
मतलब है।
पंजाब वाले कह रहे हैं गाड़ो इसको।
पंजाब वाले तो कह रहे हैं बिहार में तो देखो क्या क्या हाल हो रहा है
अरे
अभी।
बिजार ईवीएम से आ जाए तो आ जाए, ये नहीं आता इस बार।
हाँ।
बहुत बुरा हाल है वहाँ, वो तो पीट रहे हैं, मार रहे हैं इनको, इनकी बसें तोड़ दी, इनकी कारें तोड़ दी।
अब तो ये बंगाल में मुंह देख रहे हैं अपना।
अरे बंगाल में बैठी इनकी माँ दादी बैठी है, इनकी मारेगी पड़ गई इनको।
हम्म,
वो कम नहीं है, गुंडी है वो भी 1 नंबर की।
हाँ वो
उसके
तो
पीछे
है ही।
बहुत गुंडे हैं उसके साथ,
हाँ।
वो कम नहीं है वो। तो इनको बता देगी उस पर।
अच्छा,
चलो
क्या
क्या,
बनाया था आज सब्जी में इसमें?
पता नहीं, मेरे तो बॉयल बनाई थी।
अच्छा, बॉयल बना देती है ये है।
हाँ, काट काट के बता रखा है मम्मी ने कैसे बना देती है वो। कल रात को
सही
भी
है,
वही
बॉयल
थी।
भी अच्छी है ना, पेट तो
अब
भरे,
वो दो
रोटी
चार
सब्जी
दिन बाद
खा
मैं
लेते
खुद ही
हैं।
बना लूँगा, मैं चलने लगा तो।
अच्छा।
फिर जब वो चलने लगा तो मैं तो सब्जी तो खुद ही बना लूँगा थोड़ी सी अपनी।
हाँ हाँ,
चाय भी अपनी बना लूँगा, कोई दिक्कत नहीं होगी तो।
काट भी सकता है बैठे बैठे
हाँ,
इसको।
काट तो मैं अब भी सकता हूँ, लेकिन अब वो दिक्कत होती है ना, किसी को पसंद नहीं आएगी, देखो यहाँ काट रहा है बैठ के।
हाँ, अभी तो बिस्तर पे ही है ना भाई,
हाँ
नहीं
हाँ,
ये है ना।
तो थोड़ी सी तो बनानी होगी मुझे, कौन सी ज़्यादा बनानी होगी।
हाँ, और किसी का मैसेज वैसेज ना आया?
अरे कौन करेगा मैसेज, सोच रहे हो अच्छा है मर जाए जल्दी से।
हाँ,
कौन मैसेज करेगा मुझे?
मैं तो पूछ रही हूँ भाई, फेसबुक पे आते रहते हैं ना।
फेसबुक पे तो वैसे ही मैसेज आते हैं, घर वालों के थोड़ी आते हैं। तो पप्पी ने फ़ोन किया था बस, उसके बाद से बदमाश ने फ़ोन किया था, और कोई आया नहीं उसके बाद।
हाँ।
और कौन करेगा? वो उसको हम बात
चलो।
करते तो शायद आते।
हाँ, ये तो है ही।
उस चुड़ैल से बात करते तो आते।
किस्मत तो होनी पड़ेगी बेचारी।
हाँ, उसमें फिर ये पड़ गई, ये
और
गौर
मेरे को
करो।
पता है कितने दिनों में इससे बात करे।
अब वो कोई है नहीं ना, मैं दूर से बात करा देता हूँ कल।
नहीं नहीं, फोन भी तो फिर तुम्हारा एक ही है ना, वो रिस्क क्यों लो तुम भी
नहीं
अब।
नहीं, वो
नहीं।
लड़का हाथ में पकड़ लेता है ना, कल भी डॉक्टर वन्ना से बात कराई थी ऐसे ही।
हाँ फिर भी अभी और 4 दिन सही जाए तो नहीं गुजरे, और 4 दिन गुजर जाएंगे नहीं।
चलो कोई नहीं है।
फिर तो तुझे ये हाथों में वो लगा के सैनिटाइजर, फिर फोन उठाए
ये तो खुद ही
फिर
बाहर आ
उसको
जाएगी
कितने
फिर,
हैं।
ये तो खुद ही बाहर आ जाएगी।
हाँ वही तो कह रही हूँ, फिर तो सैनिटाइजर लगाना पड़ेगा फिर भी कई दिन, 1 महीना कम से कम, है ना।
हाँ तो लगाते रहेंगे रोज सैनिटाइजर, उसमें क्या है।
हाँ
फिर बात तो कर लेगी ना, कोई दिक्कत थोड़ी ना उसमें।
चल ठीक है।
बात बात तो कर ही लेगी ना।
हाँ और क्या, अंदर ही अंदर घुसी घुटी इंसान बड़ा वो हो जाता है, पता है।
अरे शुक्र करो दिन काम में अभी ज़्यादा होता तो क्या करती।
हाँ
वही तो देखो ना।
ये तो है।
अब मेरे को देख कितने दिन हो गए, मैं तो अब तक पागल हो जाना चाहिए, तो दाखिल हो जाना चाहिए था पागल खाने में।
तेरे को तो 12 को 1 महीना हो गया था, है
अब
ना,
देख
अभी
ले,
हो गया।
12 से आज आज 26 हो गई है, 1.5 महीना हो गया।
हाँ
1.5 महीना हो गया, और तो 3 तारीख हो ही जाएगी, 3-4 तारीख।
हाँ
और पता नहीं पूरा हफ्ता भी निकल जाए तो।
ये तो है।
तब से कहेंगे भैया तो जाओ अपने घर, इसको क्या करेंगे, कौन पैसे देगा इतने।
हाँ
ये ना।
नहीं, लेकिन जब तक तो चलने फिरने लगेंगे जब तक तो रखना ही पड़ेगा भाई।
और चलने फिर रहे हैं, इसने क्या करना है उसमें, लैट्रिन की तो मेन प्रॉब्लम है, बाकी थोड़ी कुछ
हाँ
करेगा।
वही तो कह रहे हैं, जब तक तो चलने फिरने लगेंगे तब तक, तब की बारी तो इसको भेजेंगे।
हाँ
ये भी तो है ना।
वही बात है ना।
हाँ चलो फिर भी केयर तो कर ही रहे हैं, मुन्नी की भी तो कर ली सामने
हाँ
उसके
केयर तो
नहीं।
कर रहा है, चलो केयर तो है।
हाँ
केयर भी डॉक्टर साहब की
तो
वजह से कर
बहुत
रहा
होता
है।
है।
डॉक्टर साहब की तरफ से आया ना, इसलिए कर रहा है केयर।
वही तो कह रही
कोई
हूँ।
वैसा नहीं है, फ्रीलांसर नहीं है। तो
हाँ
उन्होंने डांट रखा है उसको अच्छी तरह से, इनको जो अपने उसको जो उसका
हाँ
था ना
हाँ
डॉक्टर साहब
ठीक
का।
है।
तो डर रहता है ना भाई, हमारा जान पहचान का आदमी है,
हाँ ये तो है ही।
फर्क पड़ता है ना उससे।
चलो जैसा भी हो जाए, मगर लोग ना मानते नहीं है वैसे, नहीं।
भुगतेंगे, नहीं मानेंगे तब देख लीजिए, फंसी है ना खुद, तेरे
हाँ
सामने इससे बड़ा सबूत और क्या होएगा।
और क्या।
घर बैठे बैठे बीमारी इसने ले ली बिना मतलब।
बस ये बैठे बैठे आगे देख लो।
फिर तो ऐसे ही होता है, फिर कोई पूछ के थोड़ी आती है बीमारी।
अब बताओ, दुनिया मेट्रो में भी जा रही है, सब जगह जा रही है, बढ़ेगी तो है ही, है ना।
अब क्या करें भाई, लोग मानने
और
वाले नहीं हैं, प्रिकॉशन लेते नहीं हैं, किसी को तो झगड़ा हो जाता है,
हाँ
घर के
ये
अंदर
तो
ही
है।
झगड़ा हो जाता है। अब मेरे झगड़े
हाँ
तो जब मैं बाहर निकलूंगा ना अभी
हाँ
तब झगड़े शुरू होंगे।
हाँ जब होएगा।
जब बाहर लोग मानेंगे नहीं, तब मैं तो कहूँगा बंद कर दो दरवाजा, खत्म, मत कोई अंदर नहीं आएगा।
हाँ और क्या।
हम भी बीमारी मतलब हम एक बार आ चुकी है ना, दोबारा भी तो आ सकती है ना, मेरे को आ सकती है,
सही
किसी
बात
और
है।
को आ सकती
और
है।
क्या,
हम क्यों फंसे तुम्हारे चक्कर में।
अभी तो कई महीने प्रिकॉशन लेना पड़ता है।
अच्छा, इसका तो खैर लेना ही लेना है, बाकी को भी
तो
तो हो सकती है।
4 महीने हो गए इनको भी। तो कल तब भी कल फोन आया था कोमल के पास भी के बारे में, पता है
हाँ
कि ठीक है कि नहीं ठीक है,
हाँ
बोलो।
हाँ
कॉल कर ली, अब तो बहुत टाइम हो गया, अब तो वो ठीक है।
हाँ।
तो अब कितने महीनों बाद आया देखो फोन।
नहीं वो ऐसा होता है ना, आजकल रिकॉर्ड भी रखते हैं लोग, क्योंकि कल मैंने देखी यूके के न्यूज़ है, एक उसने उसे दिसंबर में हुआ था,
अच्छा
अभी तक कह रही मेरे को बहुत अटैक दोबारा पड़ चुके हैं।
अच्छा
पिछले दिसंबर में हुआ था उस औरत को,
अच्छा
और कह रही है बार बार मुझे प्रॉब्लम हो जाती है, इतना इतना 1 साल के करीब होने को आ गया।
अच्छा
दिसंबर से देख ले कितना हो गया, आज अक्टूबर चल रहा है।
बताओ।
वो कह रही मेरे को बार बार कभी कुछ हो जाता है, कभी कुछ हो जाता है, कभी कुछ हो जाता है।
अच्छा
तो उसका मतलब वो ठीक है, वो ठंडा एरिया है, ये भी हम मान लेते हैं,
हाँ,
लेकिन ठंड तो यहाँ भी है।
ठंडा तो यहाँ शुरू हो जाएगी
तो
ठंड।
फिर तो होता है ना लोगों को,
हाँ
तो ये नहीं कह सकते ना, जो वहाँ होता है तो यहाँ भी तो होगा।
हाँ ये तो है ही।
तो ध्यान तो रखना ही पड़ेगा, अब मौसम भी ठंडा है, गर्म पानी में नहाना भी पड़ेगा, गर्म
और
पानी
क्या,
पीना भी
घर में
पड़ेगा।
ये तो हमारे तो घर में 12 महीने गर्म में नहाते हैं।
नहीं चलो, 12 महीने की तो और बात है ना, अब जो
नहीं ठंडा करने नहाते ही नहीं है, जान के कि भाई बदन खुल जाए इसलिए। ये भी कोमल के पापा भी गर्म
हाँ
में
बदन
नहाते
खुल
हैं।
जाता है, पसीना
और
निकल
गर्म में
जाता
पी
है,
रहे हैं तो अभी भी पानी।
पसीना भी निकल जाता है, सब हो जाता है उसमें।
हाँ चलो कर ले आराम से, ठीक है।
ठीक है ओके।
चलो
ओके
ओके।
ओके। सॉरी जेंटलमैन, क्या करूँ, जितना मर्जी सोचूं आ ही जाता है फ़ोन किसी का। सॉरी, वेस्टेड योर 15 minutes। I was talking of coordination, so family coordination came into my picture. They were my sister, younger sister. Well, my elder sister is patient of COVID-19 in my adjacent room. She is in isolation. On 16th she was reported. positive. So it's now around 10 days that she has passed of COVID-19, and I am in quarantine. I have passed now 16 and 26, so 10 days of quarantine I also passed. I have to go to doctor once she comes out, because I have to go to doctor for next next treatment of my leg. I'm still bedridden, so once I start taking some walk independently, at least if I can go to WC, I'll feel comfortable, little comfortable. I can take bath myself, because now I'm getting bath through, what do you call it? What do you call a sponge? I call it squeeze actually in engineering language, squeezing. They call it sponge, whatever you can call it. So every day I'm getting one sponge in hot water with some sponge cloth. So this is life. I'm already in quarantine and I'm waiting for. Otherwise, maybe I had to see doctor on 20th, but this delayed. My elder sister's COVID-19 positive delayed me. So what to do? Sorry, it's family coordination. Can't help it. Well, so what I say was coordination of engineering, coordination of projects, and coordination. Coordination is very important part. There may be planning engineer, there may be safety engineer, there may be quality engineer, there may be site engineer, there may be some other engineer, mechanical, electrical, or whatever engineer, firefighting engineer, or civil defense engineer, or whatever you can say. There will be many discipline engineers, but coordination engineer is a priority. If you don't prioritize this, you may call it super specialization, because you have to go to very many drawings. You have to go to very many specifications, and you have to understand them, not as in so deep, but how it's going to impact structural works, how it's going to impact civil works, and this, what sort of work you are going to do involving. Sometimes you have brick wall, or you can say you have block work, or you may have precast partitions, prefabricated partition like gypsum walling or cement walling. Means in particularly in big buildings like hospital, you need partitioning. There, services pass through those systems. So a complete different kind of complicated coordination, and there could be many coordination level as well as far as projects are concerned, and you should be happy with that. And if you think that you can master coordination in engineering construction and engineering designs, I think you make a better future, because there's no need of whatever degree, further degree or doctorate in that. Your experience would be your degree, your decisions will be your master, and your final drawings, your working drawings, your proposals, which you say, based on which work shall be performed on site in precast form or in cast in situ form. That would add to your knowledge, and moreover, you are not going to be confined to civil discipline alone. You shall be confined to multidiscipline approach that would augment your knowledge of other disciplines: electrical, mechanical, services, plumbing, sanitary, road, and various others like electronic systems. Of course, you won't get mastery on that, but you can talk in meetings, you can talk to others, you can think on them, you can go back to specifications, see what are feed actually. You can point out, oh, you are talking this, no, that's not right, this provisional feed. That's where a very important part. And I actually, you can say, I am one of those fortunate guy in civil construction and civil designs, that I have done both. I'm not saying I'm master of design, not at all, but I understand design very well as far as art is concerned. Uh, uh, I did my building where I'm stating here. Structural work I designed myself, architectural work I designed myself, I could completely analyze this myself without using any STAD or something. I used my own customized built Excel sheet on this and used Carney's theorem because it's not very big building. It's not a structure, so you can rely. You can just use your mind and use your software support of Excel, and you can then say, okay, this is my decision. You can just drive formula beams and columns or something like that, slabs on yourself, and I think it works. Not necessarily all time you are forced to use only dominant softwares or very expensive software, which confine you, in fact, which rule you rather than you use them. I'm not negative about that. I'm positive, very well positive, but as far as the engineering art is concerned, we should not neglect it. That's why in beginning I said coordination. I'm stressing coordination on this because coordination is root nowadays, root of everything. If you want to coordinate, if you want to coordinate and you do something, you get something done, delivered. And once you think, oh, I have made so many changes in this design, change means change your design. You feel very attractive yourself to that objective which you achieved. Or people say, oh, it's because of you, it has been done successfully, or this structure is serving because of very good coordination. And I can say not many errors in cost structures, or which must be expensive or time consuming or giving bad quality impetus on that. So that's where engineering coordination is important, and coordination is applicable everywhere in every field. But as far as our field is concerned, that's field where everything is to be done from raw material or from ingredients that are available in natural form. You have to design yourself and you have to produce yourself. You're not getting anything ready-made like mechanical system or electrical system or solar system. They get, and for example, chillers they get, or package units they get, and they just install them in plinth constructed by civil. They just then connect them, that's all, and they do maximum trunking, or they do cable run on some stands on roof. It's completely different because they are bound by their system. They cannot generate it something into new design. Whatever is load distribution of electrical, they have to work out and distribute according to this, and then transformers and distribution boards and sub main boards and all that. It's really you can say dependence on that kind of discipline we have to involve. But our civil is entirely highly respected because if you get a machine, the chiller, you have to put a plinth, you have to design plinth. You have to design that. If you get a centrifugal pump, say 150 HP or 200 HP, generally you get 140 HP. You have to provide some foundation on that. Then you have to. Good morning, Mr. Mahendra Singh. Thank you very much for joining. If you have to join that, means it's interesting. Means you have to design that vibratory equipment foundation yourself. It's maybe even 50 centimeter thick or 40 centimeter thick. But question is not that. Question is machine. After all, it is. You are going to found the machine foundation. You have to provide some sectional water tank somewhere, or you have to design plinth or foundation of that. And that's a very interesting one. Means you have to enter into that, though it's not very big design. It's not, but it's important. Don't think only big designs are designs. Don't think high rise is design. Sometimes small units are also very complicated. Sometimes even a machine foundation, let us say a machine having 2000 HP, or even you can say a diesel generator 2500 kVA, it's very very complicated. And particularly if soil doesn't permit that. So soil is actually very powerful material in our lives. Means it can be called soil, or we it's soil, it's nothing. But we should forget earth is soil. Whole this planet that is 12,500 kilometers global global diameter sphere is is soil. It's first 35 kilometer is important from engineering point of view. If you go down further, you may go mental state is about up to 3,000 something, you can say 3,500 kilometer. We don't know much about that. And also if you go further down, the center of planetary arrangement, that's the center of Earth, which is much more complicated than, if you understand this, means first first to 35 kilometers, you know, course of though there's no course, but let us assume that is a course of 35 kilometers down, which contains oceans, and that contains seas, and that contains all mineral part, that contains, all your offshore arrangements, you know take out oil from that, raw material from that. So it's offshore, which is which is giving you oil, crude oil, and that's all that comes from only this small portion of 35 kilometer thickness. So you can say this is a kind of integrated part of soil. It's basaltic rocks below sea, uh, basaltic rocks that we say, sea bottom or ocean bottom. With ocean, I can differentiate between two. First of all, sea means where maximum depth is up to 4 kilometer, and according to geology, and according to geology, ocean depth is up to 10 kilometers. So you just think of that. What sort of structure of rock should be there? 10 kilometer or 4 kilometer water pressure, vertical pressure shall crumble whole soil, whole rock, even if it's a rock. Just think of that. 4 4 kilometer means 4,000 meters, means 1 meter weight of water is 1 ton. So 4,000 ton per square meter vertical pressure on 10,000 tons per square meter vertical pressure at ocean bottom. What do you think? Is soil that strong with you? Or it shall this force crumble that soil, and that soil, because it's of basaltic nature at that depth. So that basaltic nature soil transfers your saline effect into water, and that comes onto sea, and we think that this is saline water. Though no river is saline, no river throughout world is saline, yet as it enters water body, sea water or ocean water, it converts to saline water because of that basaltic rock. So just imagine what's force at that point of 10 meters or 4 meters. Generally, offshore work, they bail out, they pump out their crude from, I don't think from ocean bottom, but from sea bottom. Maximum, which is 4 meters, depending on type of offshore platform, or how do they manage, what powers they have, what technology they develop. It depends, because I am not expert on that, but I'm giving you just an idea. It's how it works. So what I'm saying is whole earth is as soil. In first, you can say first 35 kilometers average, it is 2.5, or you can say, you may say 2.5 or 3.5, you may say that's that is kilogram per cc, or you may say it's about 2,500 to 3,500 or little more kilogram per cubic meter. When you go down further, you'll find about 5.5 or 5.5 or 5,500 kilogram per cubic meter. And if you go further down, which is nearly 8,000 tons, 8,000 kilograms, 8,000 kilograms per cubic meter. So Means first layer is like sorry, first layer is like the concrete. We have about a kind of concrete strength in first 35 kilometers, and then we have about, you can say, about high density concrete strength in portion after 35 kilometers, because I'm saying 5,500, and that means its high density concrete should be. And then if you go down further to center of earth, you will find it's about 8,000 kilogram per cubic meter, which is nothing but steel. So you think there's a steel ball encompassed by, encompassed by another ball, which is high density concrete, and the other ball which is concrete. So what I say, all this is soil, because we do not know. For me, it is soil. So if we do not respect soil, we do not take care of soil, how can we produce good work or good foundation? So you can say soil cannot be thrashed like that. It's very important part of our life, soil, without which you can't say buildings can be constructed, roads can be constructed, structures can be constructed, or whatever you want to construct, you can. Really, it's very interesting that way, that we have to understand this point. But I'm sorry I shifted from quality to that, but it's also a part of quality. They have to understand what we have, and we have to understand. We have to understand all that. So I think I'm gone more than 2.5 hours. No problem. Let me complete as far as my energy gives you support. So coordination is very specialized discipline which engineers must understand, rather than searching jobs only for construction or only for designs. Design have no major future. In future, it's no major future. Design has no major future as far as uh, designers are plenty, and everybody wants to be designer, unfortunately, because of nature of work, sitting in an air conditioned office and just doing computer work. Well, it's a sort of different type of work, but if you do not use coordination in design, your design is going to flop, certainly. I can assure everybody. Maybe today you design, it's not going to be in picture for 2 years. Later on, you may not be there in that seat, so you want experience, but somebody would experience, certainly. And your design may be then revised, and then further revised, and then further revised. If it happens, means what shall we call that? Is that a failure of the design? I would say failure of the design. If you just put in, just use feedback from others who are going to add their disciplines onto that kind of structure you are put in first place, and then you study that one in coordination and in relation to their requirement, their FED or their specifications. Well, I think it's better. You may deliver more reliable, less workable design in that case. Otherwise, life moves on and on and on, and you will find some time here that those who work abroad or worked in other countries, they call themselves coordination specialists or managers, coordination managers. They will find places here in place of years, and you may stick only in supporting them, and those guys shall command over you. If you want that type of life, well, then I have no answer to that life. If you want that type of life, that no, you are only site guy or design guy, and those people coming charging many times salaries make you're getting, then you will feel upset. It's therefore very important to, for every engineer I'm saying, you may be whatever degree or post graduation or higher, it's better to customize at site for national future, because we can't depend only on overseas professionals for our nation. It's really very very important point. Some may accept it, some may not accept it. It doesn't matter to me, but based on my observation, based on my understanding, based on my analytical approach, just trying to share what I think is shareable with my colleagues, my fraternity. It's very rigid approach by people, particularly by engineers, that know what we do is right. Okay, don't forget, no building shall ask you that I'm going to collapse. No building is going to ask you, not seek your permission. Of course, during construction, it seeks your permission that you want to construct me or you don't want to construct me. You have to approve and supervise. But once it fails, it's not going to send any RFI to you or request for inspection. I'm going to collapse. Shall you permit me? It's just a joke. It's so I think it's really sometimes astonishing to speak like this just to convince people something sometimes right, while same thing is not right something else. Until power remains with you, until control remains with you, you have every right to amend mistakes, modify errors. But once this control goes beyond your power, then you know you're one of accused. You shall be one of accused, and no one can save it. Even no one can save you from that. So that's very important point here, uh, and that's why I said that's a very important point, and we have to understand that point. And if you can't understand that, so no one can answer you that one. No one can answer you. At least I can't answer you. If you think that I'm just trying to disgrace you, it's your choice. I am whatever I am delivering to you, right or wrong, is based on my experience, is based on my failures and success in profession. I never said I was always successful. Never. I should not say that. No one can be successful always. We have to face immense problems in profession, without which, you know, you can't move further. I have many instances which are bad in professional work, but also many more which are good, based on changing many organizations, based on changing many projects, based on changing many nationalities. I mean to say, working with many nationalities. Well, I am fortunate that I experience working with around more than 50 nationalities from all continents of this world. And I know how people think and how do our people think. That's the difference. That difference is very very expensive, and that difference cannot be just given in writing. And that difference is a feeling only, how you feel when you deal with your own country people and when you deal with others. There's a immense gap between mindsets of all classes of people. We are having false pride sometimes. False pride. My title is this, my qualification is this. Sometimes they have false prides. Your qualification should be what can you deliver. That's important. Others are all irrelevant. You may be very highly qualified, but if you can't deliver something to people, what's the function of your qualification? My question is very simple. If I say I'm so big person, I have so many degrees. Okay, did you help with those degrees to most poor section of people? Question is that. Did your knowledge reach that lowest profile citizen or non-citizen ever in your lifetime? Or you just count on your awards, I am awarded, or you count on your certificates? Count, but real count is done by that person to whom your services are given. If that person is devoid of your service, I don't consider this your achievement. If your technology, your knowledge is unable to reach that party, that person who expects some good work by very well educated engineer, and if does not happen, I don't think you are or your education is a success. After all, why other countries developed? Because they want to use services. We have no culture to use such services. Our quality that I observe, forget construction of government or construction of private, all same, dirt and dirt and dirt. You may find sometimes 1% good quality. You cannot generalize that. Somewhere you find bad in that also. I have seen some projects, delivered projects. No need of explaining them. Yes, they have some good quality as well as bad quality. They are very big names of companies, international level companies, who are unable to deliver quality work. It's not because of them, it's because of culture. It's because our culture we are not developed for quality system. We are not interested in that. We only just want to boost our image when there's no image. That's what's happening. And moreover, again I say, if you don't concentrate, if you don't concentrate, you think that your mobile or your software is adequate guide for you. I have no answer. I have no comment on that. Because you are an artificial engineer in that case. You are not a real engineer. Until you know yourself, how your design can be done, and you are capable of designing it manually or by assessment. Not necessary I want all stresses. I want adequate design. Your in-depth work is valid only if implementation is applicable. Unfortunately, it's not happening. Concrete is delivered from ready mix, but nobody cares about testing. Nobody cares. So where is meaning of design? There is meaning of that. Every activity, every control counts. Every control counts. Every control count, I say. And if we don't do that, oh, sorry, uh, oh, क्या हो गया? यश, sorry, disturbing. Uh, just I took some water. Again, it's dried out. Well, let me talk a little more and close. तो पानी दोगे गरम? क्या करूं? Well, let's move further. Until we move further, until we understand. गरम चाहिए, ठंडा नहीं चाहिए? आधा कप. इसमें लिया धोके. कैसे लाई? ग्लास में कौन पिएगा? इसमें धोके ला. दिमाग खराब है क्या? इसमें ले आई गिलास में आगे. धोके ला इसको. गरम लाइए, ठंडा नहीं चाहिए मेरे को. नहीं तो उसमें से लिया डिस्पेंसर से, दे देगा करके. Sorry, it looks very awkward to me. I'm just wasting your time again. What to do? Sorry. However, well, I can say, sorry, gentlemen. My interest was to submit to you about concrete requirement, concrete quality, and concrete interrelation to all other disciplinary activities. Oh. क्या करूँगा? Oh. Concreting is very difficult, in fact. Those who think it's too easy, they are difficult themselves. I'm not discussing anybody, but it's a fact. The concrete means solid. The rational meaning of concrete is solid. So person handling concrete must be solid, not liquid. Because once concrete is solidified, hardened, it cannot be liquefied, remember. Yes, it is converted from liquid to or from fluid to solid in a period of time, but it's like different change. It's chemical change, you can say, just like we used to say. Just like we used to say, it's chemical change. In fact, it's chemical change because cement is chemical material and aggregate are inert, you know, stone aggregate, sand aggregate, all are inert, and water itself is a chemical. So if you say transformation of fluid, concrete fluid, which is called green concrete, we call it green concrete, and when it is mixed up and laid and it's hardened to strength, that's the stage. Further hardened, hardened and hardened.
आज रोटी होगी।
अब फिर खाता हूँ, ये पानी पिए तो पहले बता देना था ना।
उनको बोला भी है, बहुत जल्दी करते हैं, पका के बाहर से जाएंगे। वो भी कहा करते हैं पका के जल्दी घर जाएंगे।
चलो वो तो कोई बात नहीं है, तो पहले बता देना ना, मेरा वीडियो चल रहा है यहाँ पे, बंद करना पड़ेगा।
रुको
10 मिनट रुक जाओ,
हम बोल रहे
10 मिनट रुक जाओ जरा। So concrete is hardened to solid state, and it's irreversible. It cannot come to semi-solid state, it cannot come to liquid state, it cannot come to any other state except if you destruct it. Except if you destruct it, that's only point. Well, I will not take much of your time now because first of all I was thirsty. Then already it's 3 hours over. I like to continue this coordination matter, which is a very long, lengthy matter. Last time also, if you go to my past videos, I have talked of my book, that is Civil Engineering Building Practice, just published by College Bookstores, New Delhi. It was published in 1996 first time. That contains a lot of material that is related to that time I used to understand in 96 or 92, 93, 94. I was too young. At that time I used to talk coordination. Well, I'm not saying you buy that book, not at all. Up to you. But I have scripted, of course not to that higher level, but to some level at that time when there was no computers. There was a system as today we have. In those days, we did a lot. So many sketches with that book as well. That book is really wonderful from that time viewpoint. Now world is drastically changed. You may not even support that. No problem. Don't support anything. I don't need your support. My my purpose is to equip you with some information that can improve quality of production, quality of work. That's what I want to share here, and I think I have shared what was required to be shared, you guys, and I'll put this video URL on LinkedIn, Twitter, also on structural engineers form for India. If people are interested, they can refer to. It's now after a long time. It's now about 3 hours. I'm used to produce much more length of video because this is not news video. This is video for professional mind. This video when you think and speak, not just speak like politicians. Sometimes when you think about something, you link your thoughts to something else. This usually happens actually. Uh, 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 Sorry. What can I do? Yeah, why this man is calling for nothing, yeah? Not for nothing the people are calling for nothing, चलो चलो यहाँ से यार, हटा यहाँ से यार, हटा लो यहाँ से यार, क्या करेगा यार? Calling for what? I don't know for what they are calling with. Well, I don't know. It's noise. As I said, concrete is difficult. People are also difficult sometimes. Well, life like that. Now, I think that I need not take more time from you people, and I'm now going to close down this video because I have to take my food. It's going to be ready, whatever food I have, small. And then